So as we finally approach December, of course, all the links now will be going towards the winter transfer market, and in Italy, particular with Milan, it is no different for them either. A name that's come up, and I've been waiting to hear and see where this will kind of develop. But they are very insistent. It's very, very insistent and very consistent with the likes of Thiago Silva, who's currently playing in Fluminense, could be heading back into Europe, and AC Milan, who I'm just going to read an article right here. It says, La Repubblica broke the news that Milan are giving serious thoughts of the idea of bringing Thiago Silva back to the club in January to boost their Scudetto hopes 13 years after he departed for PSG. Also, according to a Globo, very famous Portuguese paper, Thiago Silva is continuing to return to Europe to finish his playing career closer to his family. They live in England, more specifically London, given that his sons both play for Chelsea. The decision is practically made and should be communicated to Fluminense soon, as per source. The 41-year-old would leave the Brazilian club at the end of the season, therefore in the winter, despite his deal actually running until the next June. So, 41 years old, I know that's the first thing that everyone's going to be thinking now. 41 years old, they already have Modric there as well, which is similar sort of age. What would Thiago bring? Well, he would bring a wealth of experience. That's the first and foremost. He's very intact physically. He's played over 45 games for Fluminense since joining them in 2024. Injury-wise, he's had no real major injuries. It's like I said, it's very intact physically, a wealth of experience, and for me, joining a team that only really has they play with a back three, Milan. So they've been playing with those three pretty much all season. So to bring in a wealth of experience, an addition that can rotate with those players. And if they're going to mount a title charge in March, both his and Modric's experience will be invaluable. Modric has done very well since he was, when he came in with a lot of skeptics, really dismissing Milan signing him dismissed him as a player. But he's done very well since joining the team. He's been an integral part of the first team. He's not hardly missed any games, and he has been playing very, very well. So, and he's really bossing that midfield in terms of the playmaking, which is what he's been brought in to do. Thiago Silva has also worked with the current manager, Massimo Allegri, and so he will be coming into a context that is well known to him, knowing the manager what he requires and what he wants of him. They have a really good relationship. So for me, this signing all around would be a very good one for Milan, even if it's just a short-term deal. It allows them to be closer to the family, which we just established lives in London, and not be so far away in Brazil. So for me, it makes perfect sense in terms of obviously bringing the age. You know, we're having now Milan having Modric in there, Thiago Silva there, 40 plus years old. But the way I see it, you have to look at the player and the player, what they bring into it. Modric never really suffered a lot of big injuries. He's very physically intact, very, very in good condition. Is not looking out of place whatsoever, and I feel like Thiago Silva will be the similar sort of mould. Be interesting to know what you guys make of that. Also, another player that's linked with Milan is Mauro Icardi, an ex-Inter Milan player, whose contract expires at the end of the season, but he's having a lot of interest around him. 32 years old, lots of Serie A experience. And of course, he didn't leave Inter in the best conditions. So I can see why there will be links there, because coming into AC Milan, I think he would love nothing more to absolutely on Inter if he has the opportunity to do so. And like I said, Serie A experience, knows where the goal is, wealth of experience as well, having played there for many years. And of course, number 9 wise Milan are currently struggling with scoring goals. So for me, another player that will make absolute sense to bring him on board. That is, I'm not sure if that did. Thiago Silva has picked up a lot more momentum in the last few weeks, but the Icardi one, obviously, of course, it's not going to be just Milan that they'll be after, and I think there's going to be quite a few teams in Europe that will be interested in taking him aboard. So one to watch for sure. That Milan derby is fast approaching tomorrow night, Sunday evening. Milan have recovered both Pulisic and Rabiot. They will both be in the first team, expected to start tomorrow night. Bringing Milan really to pretty much to their first team. Everybody back really. I don't think they've got anyone missing in that first 11 other than Jimenez, who has an injury to his ankle, and that will require a little bit more time. So Leao and Pulisic will be starting up front with Nkunku on the bench. Of course, Rabiot, Modric and Fofana will complete the 3 in midfield, with Batasagi and Salamakers on the wide areas. And at the back, like I mentioned, the 3 that have been playing all year long, Pavlovic, Gabbia and Tomori, and with Maignan, of course, in goal. Maignan, there's no news of him signing a new contract yet, so as of next month or January, he'll be free to go wherever he wishes. He'll be free to sign a pre-contract with the club and join them in the summer. More than likely to be Chelsea if they still wish to sign him, because they were heavily linked with him last summer. Unless something massively changes in the next month, Maignan will be looking to go and head into the Premier League next season. But that's the team regarding Milan. Inter, of course, they would they pretty much, I don't believe they have any absentees, so Martinez will probably take his place up top with either Pio Esposito or Thuram. Of course, in midfield 3, Barella, Çalhanoğlu, Mkhitaryan, Dumfries and Di Marco as wing backs. They play also 3-5-2, and at the back, Ajanki with Bastoni will play in there as well, and somewhere in goal. So they have a strong team, and they had picked up quite a bit of momentum actually in terms of results. The international break for them came at the wrong time because they were just getting in gear. And for Milan, it came actually at a good time, because in those 2 weeks it allowed them to recover both Rabiot and Pulisic for this game. Without this international break, those 2 players who are massive in the way Allegri plays would have been missing out. So it's actually been beneficial to them. How long they have in their legs will remain to be seen. But one to watch for sure for Sunday night, 7:45. Of course, before then, it'll be the North London derby. So it's busy afternoon for me, watching those 2 games very, very closely. And I'm very invested, of course, in both of them for the reasons you guys know. So it'll be very interesting to see how those games unfold, and I can't wait to be back on here to be talking to you about that. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, as always. Make sure you smash a like and subscribe to IGYS Corner if you haven't already done so. And have a great weekend. I look forward to seeing you in the next content coming up. Take care, guys.